You guys, we're experiencing some pretty chilly weather out here in Southern California today. We are actually going to be getting some storms on the way. Starting tomorrow, there's going to be a few days of rain, so I thought I would take this opportunity to harvest the ginger and the turmeric with you guys. Normally, I don't have to harvest tubers, rhizomes, or like root vegetables, until I want to eat them. That way you can keep it really fresh in the soil. However, tropical plants are sensitive to the cold, and so when it's cold and then on top of that you get a lot of rain, with all that moisture, that damp cold soil is what really can cause rotting. So to prevent that, I'm just going to go ahead and harvest these, and then I'm just going to store them away. If you guys grow them in containers, that's the advantage you'll have, is that if you don't have enough time to harvest them, you can just take the whole container and bring it inside, indoor, or at least you can put it somewhere where there's a cover to prevent the rain from collecting too much rain in the soil. Or you can just put a little cover over cover the pot for a few days. It's not going to hurt it. But we did have a few days of rain before this already, so this soil is already really damp and cold, that even if I cover it, I feel like it's really not the best solution at this point. It's just to go ahead and harvest them. Now, if you guys have seen my previous episode I filmed last year of, I believe I titled it as What Not to Do When Growing Ginger, Turmeric, or Galangal, because I love doing trial and errors, and through that I've learned a lot from the comments you guys have left. I'm making these changes this year, so hopefully there would be a better harvest of ginger and the turmeric. So if you guys want to check out that video, I'll point you guys to it with the link down below or in the iCard up there. But basically, the changes I've done this year is that I've moved it to more sun and to put them in a felted pot to get more breathable air circulation in the soil. And actually I've been doing that with a lot of my plants around here. So this ginger here, I started out growing them in full sun here. I got a couple months of good time, with a couple months of full sun, and the ginger shot up to about maybe 4.5 feet tall. Now keep in mind, in this small garden, in this narrow garden, we actually get a lot more shade. It's not super bright, so things tend to not explode and grow super fast until the sun angle actually hits straight down on the plants. So yeah, so the plants got to about 4.5 feet here, and it definitely got a lot more shoots that came up than putting them in the old location. After the ginger has sort of developed a little more, I actually started to put the trellis here for the loofah to climb. And that's just how it goes in the garden, is to continuously build and move structures. So after the loofah grew over, it actually shaded the ginger. The ginger was not in full sun during its entire growing season, but anyhow, I want to see how well they did in compared to last year's harvest, growing it in more shade. And that's the thing, with growing in small space, is that you have to make decisions on, I guess for me is to prioritize what kind of plants I want to have more harvest of, And in that case, I've decided to do Egyptian spinach or roselle, growing them in full sun. They definitely benefit growing in a lot more full sun than ginger. I'm okay with having a little smaller harvest of ginger, especially that you can still buy ginger at the store, whereas roselle or Egyptian spinach, it's actually more rare that I cannot find them at the grocery store. But recently, with everything that's going on around the world, the prices of food really has increased dramatically. Oops, my god, I just tore this. I just love reusing gloves, and these are pretty thin. I'm actually going to remove part of this netting here. So you can see these buds started. Okay, definitely getting more ginger than before, just from exposing this to more sun. Oh my god, I broke it. Alright, that's alright. Ooh, cool. This pot was shared amongst the bitter gourds, and then I had the ginger growing, you know, in the center. So that's what this side of the trellis is for. It's for the bitter gourds, and then the top was the loofah. Just got done harvesting this pot of ginger, and there's been a lot more ginger than the previous year because it's been in a little more sunlight, but it is mainly in the shade during the hottest time of the summer, which it should be in more sun. And the thing with ginger is that they are sensitive, like the leaves are sensitive to dry heat, so the leaves tend to kind of burn out a little bit, and that's why in the past I was afraid to put them in like full sun. Let's go take a look at the one that's in full sun. Well, let's see the comparisons in putting them in different locations. Alright, in the last pot I actually put it on the upper shelf, so even though it's on the shade side, but it's on the upper shelf, so it actually gets full sun when in the summer, when the angle of the sun is pretty much like a straight shot down. And it's actually in a little planter because ginger grows pretty shallow, just about a few inches below soil. I mean, they're actually rhizomes, meaning they are basically underground stems or branches, if you will. So they don't grow very deep. You can just put them in a more shallow container. In this case, I'm actually just going to show you that there's just so much ginger in there, but I'm not going to harvest them today because there are some volunteer tomatoes that are growing so lovely here, and I think that would be really nice to actually have some nice homegrown tomatoes by early spring or so, because there's just a bunch. I don't want to hurt the tomato plant. So I'm just going to show you guys how well the ginger is done in full sun. Alright, the final harvest is going to be the turmeric. The turmeric was grown in mostly morning sun. By noontime, the sun, it would start getting some shade in that spot. So let's see how the turmeric does. And after that, I'm definitely going to try to make room this year to get certain ones in full sun. Oh, kind of painful. Alright, got this. Let's remove this irrigation. Oh, already there's one out here. That was easy. There's another fresh one. Oh, and thank you for someone who has told me this, left a comment and mentioned that the one I ate last year that was white color was actually the organ, the storage organ. So what they do is they store food for the plant. When the condition is ideal, this would help give it energy and get the plant to grow. I guess I just broke one. Sorry, buddy. Let's try to... Here it is. Turmeric is starting to expose. Another organ, storage organ. Oh, this one broke off. It's a big one. Here it goes. Oh my god, I'm breaking them. Okay. Okay. Here it is. So you can see how turmerics grow. They actually grow in a clump like this. It's beautiful. Oh, I can smell it. These are the gingers that I got out of this pot. It's got a really nice handful here. Definitely improvement. And here's the turmeric. Alright, so I just washed these off to show you guys, but normally to store it, I actually don't wash them, and I would just store them in soil again. So in this case, I'm just going to cover these back up with soil and in just like a 5-gallon bucket and keep it in the garage. And the soil just needs to be slightly moist, just so they don't dry out. But that's really the best way to store it, is to mimic nature. So I will do that, and when the weather warms up, when the soil warms up a bit, I'll start putting these in the ground again and grow them for the following season. To grow turmeric or gingers, you want to find the ones that are really firm. So you see how I'm pressing on this? It's just not soft, it's not wrinkly, it's nice and firm, and that's an indication that they are fresh. So you can pick them up usually maybe at your local farmer's market or at the grocery store. Choose the organic ones if that's an option, because usually the conventionally grown ones are irradiated, meaning they most likely will not germinate. These buds are going to shoot out and become a plant. That's it. And I'm just gonna place this in the coolest area in the house, and for me it's going to be in the garage, in the dark part of the garage. And then if you want to put a lid on, you can. Just don't completely seal it up. You just want to, you know, place it maybe with a little bit of room for breathing here, so that nothing would mold in there. But that's about it. Or leave it wide open like this. And I also like to kind of mist it a little bit to give it a little bit of moisture, but not too much. Just a light mist, and it goes to storage. Whenever I want to eat them, I just harvest it back from here. So that's how I keep them fresh through the winter. Well, that's it to this video, you guys. If you have not subscribed, please do. I'd love to see you guys back here again. Like and share this video if you enjoyed it. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, where I do some instant updates of my life that happens in real time that you don't get to see on this channel. If you would like to support my work, I really would appreciate that. And I have some seeds and plants available on my shop for those of you who would like to add more to your garden collection. So I'll leave the links of everything that I just mentioned just below this video. Thank you so much, you guys. I shall see you guys right back here in the next one. Bye.